here's what Senator Sanders has achieved. And like John said, it really is extraordinary. He has really tapped into the energy in the Democratic Party. And the energy in the party is on the left. It's for a more progressive agenda. It's voters who, just like Republicans, who have been fed up with the status quo and voted for Donald Trump, that you're hearing that same sentiment among voters who are fed up with the status quo, who feel aggrieved. They feel like the system is rigged, as Elizabeth Warren used to say, and as Bernie Sanders says, that the billionaires have taken over. And that is really where the energy in the party is.
But will these people come out to vote for Hillary Clinton?
I think both she and Senator Sanders have some work to do.
Yeah, and I think some of them will vote for Trump. It is amazing to me when I talk to voters, how many people I've spoken to who said, I like Sanders and I like Trump.
Right. New and different. People are looking for new and different. Hillary Clinton has many, many strengths. You could have a long list of her strengths, and often experience as she has, the resume she has, often that's a great asset in a political campaign. Not this cycle. People want something new. They want something different. They want somebody who they trust to change Washington. And for all of Secretary Clinton's strengths, I don't think if you look at Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, or Hillary Clinton, you say who's least likely to change Washington? Most people would bet on Hillary Clinton.
But this intersection between Trump supporters and Sanders supporters is still confounding to me
They're the
and
flip
many.
side of the same coin. We have the capitalist and the socialist, and they're both populists, and that's what they're tapping into.
Trade and wages. Trade and different and change. Trade, the specifics are the economics. You're exactly right. The populism and your wages haven't gone up in 15 years. The politicians you keep electing aren't listening to you. They're not helping you.
And those are single-issue voters? Right. I mean, they care enough about it that
I'm just not. The question is how many of them are there? I mean, I think there are some of those people, but I'm not sure frankly, I'm just not sure they're a huge group. Like Bernie Sanders won Michigan. For Trump to win Michigan is not outside the realm, but it's pretty tough, I think. It's a Democratic state. The more interesting question to me is, and this is certainly a target for the Clinton campaign, is these suburban, independent, maybe even Republican women, in the suburbs of Columbus, in the suburbs of Washington. Do they flip? Maybe they voted for Rubio or for Governor Bush. Do they flip over to Hillary Clinton because they just don't like Donald Trump's tone, they don't like what he said about women, and they don't like where he is on foreign policy? She started to make that push. You'll see her start to make that push an awful lot harder when Sanders is out of the race. Her advisors feel that if she starts pushing aggressively targeting moderate Republicans while Sanders is still in the race, it's just too complicated. You're sort of baiting him to go after you.
So this is a tough moment for her. She's fighting
a two-front war.
Fronts.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
Exactly.
And don't underestimate, though, how Trump has surprised us is that he had the broadest coalition in the Republican Party. When he first started, we thought he was going to get sort of the Tea Party people or Tea Party-like people, new voters who just wanted change, just wanted something different, anti-establishment. But go to the Virginia results and look how well he did against Rubio in the suburbs just outside of Washington. Go to some other states and look how he did in the suburbs
but
where you thought this was Rubio's place.
But who are those voters, John? Are those Hispanics? Are those minorities?
I think it's everybody, Rachel. And I think, let's see if my colleagues disagree, but I just think that we start by thinking evangelicals are going to vote for Cruz because he's the Tea Party evangelical guy, and suburban voters are going to pick a Bush or a Rubio because that's the mainstream. And that's usually the case. You always study the last campaign when you're covering the current campaign. Well, we've had to throw all that out because I think evangelicals want change. They're disgusted with Washington and upset with Washington. Suburban college-educated women who may have nothing in common with those evangelicals on a policy, if you said list your top 10 policy priorities, have nothing in common with them. Guess what? They agree. Washington's broken. They've invested in it. They keep voting for traditional politicians and, in their view, getting nothing back. And so they share that. They share the desire to change Washington. They share the agreement that Washington politics are broken, and they're setting aside the traditional way they usually vote and thinking outside the box.
I do think Lisa makes a really important point about women.